All right, we got it fixed. This is part 8 of this manual conversion. Part 7 was interrupted due to the fact that we did not have the proper flywheel, so I had to do some other things in the meantime, some coolant stuff, some suspension stuff, some engine mounts. We're back after a, I guess, day and a half break, and we are going to get cracking. Maybe it's a 2 day break. Yeah, exactly a 2 day break. So one day we took half a day off. The next day we took a whole day off. And now we are back up and running. Got the trailer here, got, I believe, all the parts I need here. First thing I'm gonna do is the firewall junction. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting that out. I think the mounting screws is busted on that firewall junction. Somebody messed around with it, broke the mounting. So these firewall junctions, which are very expensive now, that's the part number for them. It has a couple of screws that screw into here. And somehow these pegs in here get broken away and they're floating around in there. I don't know if these are different than those, but those round things get broken off in there, and it's hard to get them out. So let me go ahead and pull this firewall junction out and get this train going. This goes on the inside. Let me grab my toolboxes and tool bags. Getting a late start this morning. I left 3 hours ago. It took me 3 hours to get here. Strictly running errands to do this job. I started off, I went to the dealer, got some hardware and stuff, had to wait for them to open. They didn't open until 8. Then I had to go get my trailer because I think there's something in my trailer that I need to put this together. Either way, I put it together. Then I had to get some distilled water for the coolant system, get some packing tape for stuff I need to pack, and get the trailer and get over here. 3 hours. Ridiculous. So here we are. Last time the video abruptly ended because the battery died. So the other night the battery died. Hopefully today I won't let that happen. We're starting out with like 96%. We'll run a few hours, then we'll get an extension cord and make sure we're plugged in. Another part I got from the dealer is these little clips here that hold your little panel inside your mirrors. On the P80 cars and actually P2s and most of these cars, inside the door there's a little plastic cover that covers the mounts for the door mirror, and these clips break and those things don't hold tight, so I bought a few of those. Got a headlight here that's in need of some charge. Let me go put that on the charger. time for me to do my third oil change on the XC90. Those are coming up quicker than I expected. Now, I don't know if Mita is outsmarting me or if this thing is just evolving. When I bought that XC90, I bought it with the understanding that it was just going to sit around Cincinnati most of the time, and Mita would drive it occasionally in Cincinnati. I thought that vehicle would be getting 500 miles a year max. We've put over 10,000 on it in the past 2-3 months, so that's changed. Now she wants to keep the miles down on Lemonade. She doesn't want to drive Panther because it's manual. And so here we are driving this thing around, which I didn't expect that to happen, but here we are. So in my eyes, this vehicle has gotten 10,000 miles worth of use, 15 years worth of use in 2 months. So I don't know, I guess I may have got my money's worth out of this thing. Let's say you buy a car for $4,000 and the luxury vehicle normally costs you $600-700 a month. If your average car gets 12 to 15,000 miles a year and it costs you $600 a month, that would be $7,200 a year. We only paid about $4,300 for the thing, and I've already put 12,000 miles on it. So really, that should cost me somewhere around $4,500 to $6,200. I've already got my money's worth out of it. We're all gaining ground from here. Alright, let me get this light on. Thought I turned it off. I didn't. Get it in the charger here. One of my lights won't charge on the fast charger. All right, let me get this firewall junction out of here. Good, I did not install the heater cord, so it is out. That'll speed up my firewall junction install. Let me close my trailer while I'm not in it. That battery is fully charged. That battery is fully charged. Pretty sure I need a T15 on the bit. Let me get some kneeling pads. So I can kneel without pain here. Need T15. Man, T15 first grab. Need that 1/4-inch adapter. Lines are already disconnected under there. Let's see if we can turn this thing out, or will we need to hold it from the inside? Found another light for the charger. Put this one on the charger as well. Find me a charge light so I can get to work. If you don't know, I am still in Las Vegas. We are still waiting on parts. So I'm primarily working with 3 guys here in Las Vegas. Three guys and 6 Volvos. And man, let me tell you something. Seems like every day these guys order another part. When I think we're getting to the end of the tunnel, they find something else for me to do. And this is why I can't tell others when I will be in their area, because this keeps growing. The list keeps growing, more and more things pop up. Man, if you could work on an older car for a long time. I need to remove this pedal from in here. You can keep finding things to do on a 30-year-old car. It's just the nature of the beast. You could never be done, and in general, I don't move on until I've fixed everything you want me to fix. Some of you guys wait years for me to show up. One guy said he felt like he's been waiting for 4 years for me to show up. He's up in the Seattle area. And the last time I was up there, he missed me. When you don't watch the videos daily or weekly, and I come through your area, and you miss me, and you contact me 2 weeks after I leave, I don't know what to tell you. You know, those that watch get the pick. So I'm traveling around, and I've been announcing for the last 3 months at least that I'm coming out west. I thought this was broke. It's not. It just wasn't tight. So I've been announcing that I'm coming out your way, and some people simply hadn't got the message. So they hadn't told me they needed my help. So when I get out that way and I help the people that's asked me to help them, that's what's happened. I help those that said, hey, I'm here, I need help. Now, if I don't know that you're there and that you need help, I can't help you. If I leave the area without helping you, I'm sorry, but a lot of times I can't throw the car in reverse and come back. So you have to wait till next time if you want to wait. Now, I was having a kind of a conflict with another guy, wanted me to do some work on his car. And I promise you, I did not tell him hey, don't get your car fixed, I'll be there, I'll do it. That's not how it went. How it went was, he said, hey, I got some stuff I want to get done to my car, and I'd like for you to do it. Okay, next time I'm in your area, I'll come do it. Well, I'd like you to do it sooner. Okay, here's the cost of me dropping what I'm doing and coming to help you. He seen the estimate. He didn't like it. He said he'll wait. Okay, so you decide to wait. Now, I've never told anybody, never, not come out of these lips, don't get your car fixed, wait for me, because I can make a schedule and my schedule gets broken all the time. It doesn't get broken because I'm not working. It doesn't get broken because I'm trying to be disrespectful. It doesn't get broken because I don't want to help you. It gets broken because of the workload of where I am today. When I'm fixing somebody's car, what could take a day and a half could turn into a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. I've been working on this manual swap almost 2 weeks. We've had instances where the parts just didn't come in that we were looking to come in. The parts we needed aren't there. I can't move forward. I gotta order and or wait for the parts. Now, as much as I want to drop what I'm doing and come help somebody, that's not practical or economical or fair to the person that I'm currently doing work for. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, this gentleman here reached out to me around June. Hey, I need your help. Okay, I plan on being out there in September. September turned into February. Not because I didn't want to do it, because the things that I had scheduled in between June and February changed. You know, I go somewhere thinking that job will take a couple of days and turn into a couple of weeks. I'm sorry, I didn't purposely drag that job out a couple of weeks. That job just dragged out to a couple of weeks. It ain't something I did on purpose. I lubricated these pipes, popped that in. If you have aluminum pipes and they are not corroded from somebody using water, put your aluminum pipes to use. You don't have to replace these. Some of the early model 850s had steel pipes, and if somebody wasn't using coolant, was using water, they may have gotten corroded. It's the only time you need to replace these pipes. So when you ordering a nearly $300 part, you don't need to add another $100 onto it for these pipes unless these pipes are damaged, which I've only seen one damaged out of, you know, dozens and dozens of these pipes. So I think my daughter was quoted like $600 or $750 to replace this firewall junction. Now that's about the price some people have been charged to do the heater for, which is absurd as well. But they have a book time that they go by. And when they do things by the book time, it can be expensive. I gotta clean this area under the heater cord. Most of the mechanicing I do on cars is done with this stuff. It's really good with loosening up grease and grime and dirt, and I cut it 50-50. Mita normally doesn't. She likes to use it full strength. Works a little faster for her. These coolant stains under here, I'm gonna spray it, hit it with a brush, a vinyl brush, to loosen it up under there. And then I'll wipe it off so there are no stains under here. If there's ever a new coolant leak, they can find it easy, and they don't have to guess if this is an old stain or a new stain. Now somehow, I'm not sure how, this block got loosened. I think it was loosened on another car as well. Now this is only designed to hold the pipes into the bracket per se here, but looks like it has T20s holding it in. And even these little pipes here have some buildup on them of coolant that was leaking around the pipe. So I'm gonna brush those off a little bit with a vinyl brush. So those are clean too. And keep it moving. I'm not cleaning it so it looks clean. I'm cleaning it so it doesn't have evidence of leak there. So if somebody sees it in the future, they'll know they got a new leak, not an old leak. And like I said, I really like the oil eater product for dissolving this automotive grimy stuff away quick and efficient. And it's supposed to be non-toxic, so I like that product. some people like that Simply Green stuff and other things like that. Man, I don't think that stuff is half as good as oil eater stuff. Oil eater stuff is good. I can't wait to get home and get me a parts washer so I can throw more oily, greasy, grimy stuff in the parts washer. Little calcium buildup on one of these pipes, which may affect the seal. So you want to hit that with a brass wire brush or a vinyl brush, scrape that off so you don't have a leak. No leak is the plan here. It's the goal. All right, lock this in place, come out here and secure it. Ugh. I use a screwdriver to hold that thing against the firewall now to try to avoid it from moving around while I secure it from the outside. It's like having somebody hold it in place for me. Do 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 do. That screwdriver is too small. It's not holding it in tight enough. Let me get a bigger screwdriver. Something to hold that thing in place. Put a cold chisel in it behind the box at the top. Hold this thing in place better. Now I'm gonna slap rubber on there. And put the plate on there and screw it in. Putting in the firewall junction. All right, firewall junction is done. Now, I don't think that there's anybody out there. I'm actually going to lift it up a little bit. I think it's lower than it should be. So I'm going to loosen it a little bit, lift it up a little bit. I don't think you can find somebody to put a firewall junction in quicker than that, which of course lowers the cost of getting it installed. Here's a job that my daughter was told would cost her nearly $800. Done in how long? 20 minutes? Something like that. Let me secure it on the inside with these things I got holding it in place so I can lift it up the amount that I want. All right, it's tight and it's in, and it's ready for the hoses. Now I'm gonna put the heater core in inside, so we can have that done. Keep moving forward from there. And I need to put the throttle pedal back on. Throttle pedal and crash. Heater core seals. Had them down here before I left. And now I don't see them. I am 100% sure I put those seals in the floor before I left. Oh, here they are. In the door. My 100% just turned into 5%. Now I'm going to lubricate those and put them in. Alright, got the seals on, time to lock the heater core on. I'll put a date on the heater core, February 26th. Put the core in before I put the pedal in, so that should go easier. Go on the other side and make sure it's guiding in straight, it doesn't feel it. Got it in pretty straight. Pretty straight. Lock it in, hook it on the pipes on the bottom, and secure it. Alright, here we go. Put the pipe in first, secure it. Pipe through, and then the box screw. Ugh. That's all the way in. Now let's secure the box screws. The ones going up from the bottom side. Now we got coolant spray and splash on this too. And man, I can smell that garbage. That garbage got together. But you want to clean the coolant splash off of that as well. Because you just don't want this coolant overspray on stuff, and you come in here later, you think it's leaking, and it's old leak. Looking for the vinyl brush I used earlier to clean that up. Here's one of them. One of the three. Alright, we got the coolant residue cleaned off of that. And see, this is why it's so difficult to give estimates. Because now you're in here, hour here, 2 hours here, 40 minutes here, 30 minutes here. Running up the tab. Saving money over the long haul, but running up the tab on the task at hand. Alright, so I got this side together. Now, I had no idea this was going to happen. Now, this gentleman here, he has an automatic shifter that he doesn't need, would probably sell. Doesn't have any damage on this panel here. The knob is not cracked. All the pieces are here. And I'm pretty sure this shift lock thing works, shift lock solenoid. Now, in the past, I've had a car where I could move the shifter without pushing a button or anything. The car could be off. I didn't know it. One day I was in the car and I accidentally bumped the shifter, and that thing kindly just rolled out of gear and made the car move. And I was paying attention, so I slammed it back in park and wondered what in the heck happened. The pin in here on the shifter was broke. So that might be something to check. Get in your car, grab the shifter, see if you can slide it in and out without any resistance or pushing any button or brake or any of that stuff. So here's a full shifter assembly that he might be willing to sell if you need one. You got an auto and you need one of these things. These things are getting harder and harder to find, not broken. Lemonade was even broken. Took me a while to find it. Found one for it. Found the guy parking out a car and bought it from them. Occasionally people will give me stuff. A lot of times I have to buy stuff just like you guys do. And I don't mind buying it. The price is fair. And I can afford it. Sometimes the price is good and I can't afford it. So this thing is back together, ready to rock and roll to a new owner. So if you need a shifter assembly, your shifter assembly's acting up, here's a whole one. Call, text me. I'll talk to the guy, see how much he wants for it. Usually sell these things between $100 and $150. You got one from the dealer, it'd probably be $600-700. You know, nowadays, parts at the junkyard is like 25 cents on the dollar from new. New parts, I normally pay 50 cents to the dollar on them because they don't have a warranty, but depends on how rare it is. Hard to find new parts, cost more. And I kind of like starting prices. You know, stuff that's a dime a dozen, you pay a dime for. Stuff that you hardly ever see, or stuff that doesn't wear, you know, kind of like lowering springs. Those not going to wear that much. Some things do. Struts wear fast. I wouldn't pay a lot for used struts. But an anti-sway bar, that's not going to wear. It's just going to get ugly or not. But anyway, that's that. And I could plug these coolant lines in. And I'm done with that. So let me wet them, plug them in, and get ready to mount this transmission, because I believe that's what's next. Well, I got to clean the surface of that stuff first and then mount it. You always want to make sure the surface of the transmission and the mating surface of the block is freshly cleaned. I mean wire wheel clean. And if there's any leak residue from a rear main seal or a cam seal or something, you want to clean all that up. So let me see if there's any of that going on here. And if so, I'll clean that up, then mount this transmission. Rear main seal is good. Mating surface is ugly because there was some coolant leaks going on under here where the coolant hose coming off the engine to deliver coolant to the car was leaking. We replaced that. So that stuff needs to be cleaned off, and then we can mount the transmission after we clean the mating surface up. You want to clean this stuff up because you don't want nobody to think there's a fresh leak. Some people clean stuff up so it looks like new. I'm not that guy. Because nobody's going to see if it looks like new or not once you get it together. Because there ain't no way to see it. It's together. All this stuff is locked away. Bolted in. But I don't want you to take this apart and think you got a leak. Because I didn't clean the old leak residue. So I will clean that up. another thing I like about oil eater. After you use oil eater, you normally don't have to rinse something off. Not like you gotta come in here and power wash it afterwards. You wipe it off, you normally do that. That's what I do. Oh, what I do with my brush? Make my brush a little bit more. Just over. Ah. A little bit more. All right, that's cleaned up, dried up. Time to hit this with some wire brush so I can put the flywheel on. And this flashlight is dead. See if one of these two are full yet. Nope, they're not full yet, but they're plenty. Get some water, keep myself hydrated, and get my brushes. And tool bag out here I didn't know I had. It's getting hot in the sun. Well, found some hardware I didn't know was hiding in here. These bolts that bolt the clutch kit onto the flywheel are in this package here. I couldn't find those a couple of days ago because they're put somewhere else in this little screw setup kit here, along with some other stuff that may be useful. Alright, solve that mystery. Let me keep looking till I find this other thing I need. Okay. Looking for the boot. I'm back. Sorry for the delay. I got the manual R tune for the ECU swap. And if you want an auto R tune, I have one. Got my Gorilla Tape, got my wire brushes. Time to get back at it. Let me see if I got any questions I need to answer here. I only got 4 people watching. JPT, thank you. Hey, Shield. What's up, Amos? When you coming? Man, hopefully in about a month. Haven't heard birds chirping in a while. Man, we out in the desert. It's hard to hear birds chirping. Hello from Sweden. I got a video tell you why I like old Volvos. Man, they're hard to break down. All right. Yo, Sweat. All right, let's get with it. Time to clean up this mating surface for this flywheel. And keep it going from there. I'll use a wire wheel technique on my drill. Just make sure this battery's charged up. It's on 4. That's the way I like it. 4 stars on the battery charge. I don't know what I was hitting on that thing last. Wire wheel, man. I bought these wire wheels from, I think I got these last set from Ace Hardware. These things are hard. They will grind your aluminum right away. Right away. I want them to grind dirt right away, but man, these things will knock your aluminum away. All right. Last night we went to a amateurish comedy show out here in Vegas, down at the Strat. They got this comedy place called LA Comedy or something. And they having a competition. I think it's an annual competition, and they're having like 5 to 8 comics per night. They give them about 3 minutes. A couple of them was really funny. A couple of them, man, not so much, but a couple of them was really funny. All right, let's clean this thing up. So much for the tag. Man, I should turn this around and sit down. I guess I could turn my camera so you guys can see what the heck I'm doing. Do. Standing up, bending over doing this. I feel it on my back already. So one of the problems with these cars nowadays with starting and running is having good ground. And man, let me tell you something. When you got this thing apart like this is the time to clean up the grounding points. And I don't know a better way to do it. When you unplug these things from a vehicle, the grounding point is the mating surface. And the mating surface builds up a corrosion-like powdery surface on it. And you really need to brush that clean, sandpaper, wire wheel, or use something to clean up the mating surface so when you install it, that transmission has a good ground to the engine. And there's a couple of major grounding wires hooked up to the transmission and not so much the engine, but sometimes that mating surface not grounded good is a problem for the car starting and having good sparks. So, if this stuff is apart longer than 24 hours, you want to clean it up so that it has a good mating surface. Better with a softer brush than what I'm using now. This brush here is hard. Transmission surface is clean. Now I'm going down to the engine surface. Whew. Man, this new Pixel 10, it sets up easy. Some of my phones don't sit on their sides well, but this one sits up easy. Oh, let me get a light. It's light on the subject. All these lights say it's still charging. Let's see if I got one in my box. It says it's all the way charged already. Now this one says it's fully charged. It's a new one. I got about 6 headlights. Now I look down here, I got 2 guide pins on my transmission, and I got one on my, 2 guide pins on my engine, and one on my transmission. So I don't need any on the transmission if I got 2 on the engine. So I gotta get this one off the transmission. And again, I'm doing this to make sure I have the best ground mating surface. From the transmission to the engine. Again, I got 2 guide posts here. I need to take the one off of the transmission. Right. Cleaned up this bottom transmission I need to have clean. Alright, now it's time for me to install this flywheel. So let me go get my flywheel sealant and get ready to do that. My sealant for my bolts. downsides of being a mobile mechanic. Trying to find your stuff amongst your stuff. I'm looking for my thread sealer so I can mount my flywheel. Those bolts get sealed on, so you need thread sealer. And I gotta figure out where that stuff is amongst all this other stuff. Cause I know I got some. Brought it with me. And I got super in here. And it doesn't appear to be in here. So let me go check in the back of the truck. I got glue there, but not those seals. And I'm starting to get hungry, so it's getting close to lunchtime. That would be a good time to go buy some, but I don't want to leave yet. I want to get this couple more things done first. Back up here. Check my miscellaneous. I don't see any sealants in there. Hey, I got my clutch alignment tool in here. I can use that. And my brake fluid tester today. I got 3 clutch alignment tools. Not sure why, but I do. Check over here one more time. If I don't see it, I'll go buy one. Man, let me check in a couple of these boxes. This stuff is. I got at least 2 tubes ready. The little tubes, too. It could be anywhere. But they're not here. Oh, wait a second. I got all kind of crazy stuff in here. Oh, I don't see no tubes or nothing. Oh, man. Do. That should be where it's easy to be found. We'll go through these one more time, this box, I'm gonna take the lid all the way off of it. Okay, I am forced to take a bathroom break and go get that stuff I need. I will be back shortly. And I'll put this thing on the charger. We got 2 hours here. I'll be back in 30 minutes. Do, 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 do.